Stories of inspiration and love. Oh, how we live and what we say. It's Stampin' Up and it's our way.
Hi everyone, it's Pauline from Stamp with Pauline Stampin' Stampede, and this is our card in our Next Pretty Birds Crafted Home kit. And I have a little surprise inside this card for you as well. So let's go through what you're going to need. You're going to need your dimensionals. You're going to need your multi-purpose adhesive or your tear and tape. You're going to need your take a pick tool. You're going to need your soft suede ink. I've also got my So Saffron ink. You're going to need your aqua painter. You're going to need your bone folder. You're going to need the stamp with the bird on it that faces this direction. You're also going to need some greetings, and I am using Peaceful Moments stamp set, wishing you every happiness this special day will bring. So I'm going to be using that. You need your embossing buddy. You'll need your gold embossing powder, and you'll also need your heat tool. Okay, so first of all, in your supplies, you will have a piece of the Early Espresso base card. So fold that in half. Okay, you will also have a layer of basic white cardstock, and I have already gone ahead and stamped in soft suede, stamped off that little bird, and that is for my liner. You will also have a second piece for the liner on the inside of the card. So we could, we're going to have both of those pieces in there. All right, our next section of the card is you will have a piece of Pretty in Pink base cardstock. Then you will also have a piece of the Chic Designer Series paper. You'll also have a layer of crumb cake, and you'll also have a Early Espresso frame of your bird cage as well that you will need. You'll also need from the Leaves of Holly this little die cut. In your supplies, you will also have one of the ferns, and you will have two strips of cardstock here, and I'm going to show you what to do with those. And you've got on your Very Vanilla stamped a little bird. Again, I've used Flirty Flamingo full strength, and I've used as my outline image the Melon Mumbo and my So Saffron marker to colour in his beak and his little feet. So you need to have that stamped. On your Very Vanilla, what you will do is going to stamp some more birds. So grab hold of your Very Vanilla, take hold of your soft suede, and stamp two birds. They are both in the same direction. Okay. Then what we're going to do, oh, we need that open still, is you're going to squeeze your ink pad down, taking the aqua painter, pick up some ink and just give your little bird some brown on his feathers and a little over into his head. And then do the same for the other bird. You can make this one a little darker if you like. So you've got a male and a female, entirely up to you. So we'll go around like so. And then clean off using a tissue or a piece of paper towel. Grab hold of your So Saffron and just finish colouring in the bird just to give him a little bit of yellow in there. like so. All right, so aqua painter is done, that is done. And now we can actually go ahead and fussy cut, using our dies. We don't need to fussy cut on that one, but you are more than welcome to use your snips to cut out your birds. All right, so we're going to cut those two out, and we also need to cut out our little pink bird as well. So let me cut those. Okay, so our little birds are all cut out. Let's get started on making this card. So the very first thing I want you to do is take your multi-purpose adhesive and glue down your layer of designer series paper, excuse me, designer series paper to our layer of pink, and then glue all of that down. And then what we're going to do is glue that to our base card, like so. Then the inside of the card, what I want you to do is glue down your both layers of basic white. So popping that in. And I've already stamped, like I said, just a stamped off Early Espresso little bird, and then that goes into there like that. All right, the next thing what you need to do is we are going to take our Early Espresso bird cage, pop out all of our little pieces, and then what you're going to do is take your scissors, and I want you to cut off the end of our little bird cage. All right. Now what we're going to do is glue that to our piece of crumb cake. Same thing as previous cards using the multi-purpose. Just give it a little bit of a sweeping sort of motion. Now before you stick this down, just going to put a little bit up there. Before you stick it down, what I want you to do is pop your bird in. So little birdie in here. Then our cage. You might need to just come down a little bit. There he is. Just pop him down. Grab your baby wipe. And I've just gone off the edge with my bird cage, and I'm just going to pat my excess glue off so I have my little bird inside. I'm going to leave that to dry for a sec, and what I want you to do once it's dry, let's leave that to dry. We're going to actually cut all the way around our crumb cake layer. So leave that to dry for a sec. Let us go to the front of our card. You've got one of these from our Leaves of Holly dies, and what we're going to do with that is get our embossing buddy. Pop some powder onto that. That just stops any of the embossing powder sort of not staticking and sticking to all of our different layers. I'm going to use my Versamark ink pad and my words and ink it up, stamp it down, add some embossing powder, just flick off any excess. See if you've missed anything. It's all looking good. And now what we're going to do is heat emboss that until it goes from that dull powder to a nice shine. So you'll actually be able to see there the difference. See how it's two different shades. So heat that up and we'll be back in a sec. Okay, so that's now done. Bring in your card, and what we're going to do is add some adhesive, center that into there. Now what you're going to do is take your branch, and you can do it a couple of different ways. You could use whichever part of the fern leaf that you would like. Just going to pull off any of those bits excess that haven't come out in the die cutting. If not, leave it on, doesn't matter. And I'm going to adhere. So yep, get that all onto there. And then what you'd need to just carefully do is just put a little bit of adhesive just sweeping across there. Lay that down. Very fine, the end of that. So just give that a little chance to adhere. And then using your adhesive, use the multi-purpose, attach one of your little birdies, grab a dimensional, pop that behind the other bird, and then my second little bird is just going to go here. Take a pick tool, if I can find it on my desk somewhere. There we go, there he is. So grab hold of this, popping down a couple of little champagne rhinestones just on there for that. Okay, now we get to the next part of the card. So what you need to do is take your two strips. We're going to take our trimmer. We are going to score at 1 inch. So pop that in. Go to 1 inch. 2 inches, 3 inches, 4 inches, and then repeat the same on the other one. 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inches, and 4 inches. Okay. What you're then going to do is just fold over those score lines. Take the other one, just squeezing those layers, folding over. Now you'll find you've got 4 squares plus a little tiny piece over here. What you're going to do is add the adhesive to this section and secure it like so. And we're just going to hold that for a second, and then we're going to repeat the same on the other side. And then what we're going to do is adhere that join line with this join line. And then we just squish them together and hold them down. Just making sure that it is set and dry. What you're going to do with our two pieces is join them like so. So just hold those down. This is our mechanism. All right, so it's like that. While that is drying, I want you to take your piece of crumb cake that you have, and just going to take away that excess piece, just so I'm not trying to fight a piece of cardstock at the same time. And I tilt my scissors just on a slight angle. I just want to come in underneath my early espresso. So just gently coming around, and then up under here. Same on this side, just taking that off. Again, just tilting the scissors at an ever so slight angle. Just allows the frame of the cage to come up and allows my scissors to just slide underneath that. Okay, so I have my little bird cage. And what you're going to do now is fold it in half. So just bring it over and press down all of our cage in half, and then just manipulate the end bracket in half, fold it over. Okay, so give it a squeeze. There we have our bird in a cage. What you're going to do now is secure these two pieces. So we're going to put some glue on here and some glue on here, and we're going to position our bird in there, bring it down, and just hold that in there just so it starts to get a little tacky. Okay, does that make sense? So that's sort of what it looks like. What's going to happen now, I'm going to wait till that to dry. What will happen is when we open the card, now the card won't fully open, otherwise it will tear the cardstock, okay? So the card is meant to just sit slightly open. You've got somewhere to write your greeting and your message. You can stamp some more things on there if you like. The main tip with this, when we go to adhere this in here, is make sure that you've lined up your bird cage with the edges of the cardstock. That's why I've cut off the edge of the bird cage, because it won't fit, otherwise he's just a little bit too long. So take this and just squeeze back out to a box, add your adhesive, and then position him where I need him to go. Just so that he's in the right position, just lining it up, probably more towards the base liner if it makes more sense. And then just give that a little bit of a squeeze, make sure we're in the right position, closing our card, and just hold that for a sec. Okay, so we're just going to need to get that done. All right. So I can go ahead and clean up my area again, ready for our next card. So just squeezing. And again, once that is just, you're just going to have to hold it for a bit or put it under a book or something, because it does take a little bit to dry. Check, make sure that you're all good. Your square should pop back out. So I'll show you what it looks like roughly from this angle, just so you can see what it looks like. So it is going to need a little bit of time just to adhere. So you can hold these down, but I did find it easier just to let that in there and leave that aside to dry. And that's what it looks like in the end. So you'll see that everything is secure. It's not coming apart, but it's not meant to flatten out your image here. And if you want to, you can change the image, of course. If you want to put flowers in there, if you want to put leaves, you can add all sorts of other things to this as well, to tizzy it up, make it a little bit more special. But it's just a new little pop-up mechanism, just something for us just to have a go at. So that's what it looks like. All right, that is our card, and I'll be back with the next one. Okay, bye.
What we do makes a difference in me and you. All these years of